and welcome to Allot 360 Analyst and Experts. I'm Michael Schachter, and I'm joined today with Jarad Carleton, Principal Analyst at Frost & Sullivan.
Hi, Michael.
And Erez Antebi, CEO at Allot.
Hi, Michael.
Erez, I'd like to ask you, for starters, why is it that you feel secure broadband is the next big opportunity for Allot?
Well, Michael, I think that in today's world, it's pretty obvious to us all that we're accessing the internet more and more all the time as consumers. But not only that, we also know that the threats on the internet are very large and growing continuously. Attempts to steal our credentials, ransomware, crypto mining, what have you, and it's growing all the time. Now, somebody has to protect us. As individuals, somebody has to be able to protect us, because we generally, as consumers, don't know enough how to protect ourselves from these threats. And the classical, the entity that has the best ability to protect us is the operator, the same operator that is providing us broadband. So it makes a whole lot of sense that we will come to our operator and demand that they don't just provide us broadband connectivity with all the threats that it brings us, but we will demand from them to bring us secure broadband connectivity and eliminate those threats, or at least reduce them dramatically before they even come to us. But it's not only for us, the consumers, look at it from the operator's perspective. The operators have a huge challenge today to raise their revenues. We all treat broadband access as a commodity. And you look at operators' results and you see that they have a hard time differentiating themselves. They have a hard time bringing more value than just broadband. And here's an opportunity. This is something that consumers want. They need it. They are aware that they need it. They're willing to pay for it. And here's the operator in an ideal situation where he can say, you know what, instead of providing you a broadband package, which is unsecure, I will provide you a secure broadband package and for a premium. So it's a win-win for both sides. And I think this is a tremendous opportunity for everyone.
You know, you're making some good points here, because I've been to different analyst days across Europe at different telecom operators specific to security issues. But one of the key things that has come out of some of those events that I've been to is the CSPs talking about how they need to add value so they're not just a dumb pipe, because their business has been commoditized. And then on the other side of it, as you pointed out very correctly, the end users, the consumers, and even some of the small businesses, they don't have the technical expertise to secure all of the devices either in the home or in the small office. And so having the ability to get some of these security services through the CSP actually makes a lot of sense and facilitates higher levels of security with less friction.
And I agree completely. And I would even add to that, one of the reasons that CSPs have been relegated to a large extent to being dumb pipes, as you said, is that every time there was something of significant value, it was the content providers, be it Facebook, Google, that took that value away from them. Netflix is doing that today, and they were relegating just to the delivery mechanism. With security, this is something that none of those can take away from them. It's whoever controls the access is the only one who can provide security, and that's a big role for the CSP that nobody can take away from them.
So it sounds like there's a need. It sounds like there's an opportunity. It's a win-win, as you put it. What would you say is the unique value proposition that Allot brings to this opportunity for the service provider?
Well, Michael, we took a slightly different approach than other companies. There are quite a few companies out there today that provide a solution to a specific problem. They provide maybe a security app that can be on your phone, or a security app that can be on your laptop, or maybe some other form of some security measure that answers a very specific threat. We looked at it in a different way. We said, okay, the threats are there. A consumer needs to be protected. The CSP, the operator, should be able to protect the consumer, but the operator should be able to protect the consumer against all the threats, regardless of the device that is being used, regardless of the access mechanism, whether it's on the mobile network, on the fixed broadband at home, wherever you are. And the operator has to be able to look at the consumer and say, okay, this is the family that I need to protect. This is the household that I need to protect. It's across multiple devices, multiple access mechanisms, and therefore the solution has to come in a form of a family or a suite of products that work together to provide that protection. Network-based security as really the cornerstone of that, but also home security for the to secure the home router when we're on the fixed broadband, and connect that with IoT security, so we secure IoT devices that cannot have any security app installed on them, and all of that with the recognition of who really is the household, who is the customer, regardless of the access and various endpoint devices. And I think that's a very unique approach that I've not seen elsewhere.
I can concur with this. I talk with a lot of security vendors across Europe and also in the United States, and I see a lot of point solutions for different endpoints. What you don't normally see out in the market is a security solution that goes across multiple platforms and multiple devices. One of the things that came out of an earlier 360 session was we were talking about mobile phones or smartphones. And normally what you see in that particular space is an endpoint security solution that works really well, for example, on Android, a very open system, and has limited capabilities on iOS, for example. But where Allot is positioned in offering some of its security technologies to CSPs, it doesn't matter which operating system you choose, you can have these devices protected evenly. And you know, that's powerful. And as we'd also said earlier, it also goes to different routers you have in the home, because we all know that there's a variety of routers
Absolutely.
for a variety of different manufacturers, and even out to things like connected vehicles.
So security is the next big thing, and Allot has pivoted rather dramatically in that direction, and yet the last year or so has seen a dramatic uptake in traditional visibility and control solutions as well. How do you explain the sudden re-emergence of the more traditional DPI business for Allot?
Well, I think that we've done a few things over the last couple of years that have simply made us better. We've improved our products, I think we've improved our internal processes, and we're just doing better in the marketplace, and we're winning more deals. It's really, it's down to the basics of blocking and tackling. It's not much more than that. And I believe that trend will continue over the next couple of years at least.
So we've got the DPI, traditional visibility, analytics, control, and we've got now this security suite providing this holistic protection across the access points through the network as you described. What I'd like to ask is, as the industry now moves into this 5G evolution or revolution, won't this sort of massive broadband, IoT everything, but heavily service-based network make some of this redundant? Won't the network itself be able to solve a lot of the problems that Allot traditionally has solved as a third party?
I think not. I think that the promise of 5G is a tremendous amount of bandwidth, very low latency, and a service orientation rather than just a connectivity orientation. But the fundamental that says that, okay, bandwidth is still never enough and you always want more and you have to control it wisely and you have to make good use of it, I think that stays. Now, will DPI change in 5G? I think it will, because if until now things were based on really I would say a priori decisions that in certain hours will provide such a service to the network and other hours others and so on, these things will change. Everything will have to be instantaneous. The networks will have to be fully automated. They will have to learn which services are expected and have them follow through from the endpoint all the way through the base stations, core network, transport layer, everything. So DPI will have to evolve in the way it's working. But the fundamental of, okay, we have to control the network to make wise use of the bandwidth and allocate whatever bandwidth we've got in the correct way to provide the services, I think that remains. And we're seeing that today in various RFIs and RFQs that are coming out on 5G. Yes, operators understand they still need DPI. So it will evolve, it will not go away.
Yeah, I think that what you're talking about, quality of service and quality of experience for businesses that are connecting different IoT devices to the network is going to be important. Some of these things are helping to keep society moving forward as we start to transform some of the dumb buildings into smart buildings, and we're starting to transform different areas of our cities through the use of different types of connected devices, right down to some of the simplistic types of things, like you see some of the Coca-Cola machines out on the streets that are also connected. So the ability to maintain a certain level of service and experience for these devices connected to the network are important, because it can, number one, disrupt society if there is a disruption in the quality of service in the network, but also for some of these companies that have devices connected to the network, it can also disrupt their revenue streams. And then in other instances, there might actually be some public safety issues that can arise.
So it sounds like security is the next big thing, as we discussed, and DPI is back or never really went away and will continue to evolve and grow even in 5G. Erez, given that rosy outlook, can you share a little bit your vision of Allot over the next couple of years?
Well, I think we'll continue to stand on two pillars, if you like. One is our traditional leg that we stand on, which is DPI, which I think will continue to grow, but we'll grow that gradually over time. And the other one is security. I firmly believe that several years from now, all operators will be out there providing secure broadband to their customers, and non-secure broadband will be basically a thing of the past. And I believe that with what Allot is doing today and our plans on how to enhance security further, I believe we'll take the leading role in providing technology that enables operators to secure our world. And that's where we are.
Well, it's an exciting vision, and thank you, Erez. Thank you, Jarad.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you for having me.
And this brings the session to an end. We look forward to seeing you on the next Allot 360.